Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness by giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised. And this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul. And we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of a president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand. To be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle. Which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve, become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 304th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice, here on Tuesday, December 12th, 2023. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Grammond, and I'll be host once again in this weekly series of workshops where we hear from members of the Universal Council who inform us of the latest activities and present the program. So, without further ado, let's get into it and see what they have in store for us today. Let me open up the PDF and let us begin.
Okay, thank you, Rick. Welcome, beautiful souls, to the One Nation, One Planet, One World, One Race for World Peace. I am Diane. I am a support member for the Universal Council. I would like to share a couple of experiences I had, kind of to do with the light. I haven't been through any transmutation or anything. The first experience was about, what was it, 40 years ago? I was just standing in my living room, and all of a sudden it wasn't the light changed, it was daylight. But the light changed, like the lens that I see through changed. And I got the feeling of the presence of God, like he was everywhere. Like when I was looking out the window, he was everywhere, behind me, like everywhere. And like I didn't believe in God before that, but I sure did after that. It really, really moved me. And then I had another experience about 20 years later. I was in a meditation with a medicine man. We were doing a meditation for Mother Earth to help support her. And all of a sudden, my eyes were closed. I was getting into the meditation, and all of a sudden, there was light in my head. My head was flooded with light. And just on the right-hand side, there was this blue blob of light. And I freaked out. I guess I went into fear because I didn't know what was happening. And I opened my eyes to like see if anybody else was reacting, but everyone else was just going into the meditation, eyes closed. The medicine man was speaking. I just closed my eyes, and I'm shy, so I didn't say anything. I didn't want to bring all the attention to me. So, but like, I guess experiencing the transmutation thing through the light, you don't see the light. I don't know. I saw the light, so it wasn't. I don't know what experience that was, but I guess when you go through the transmutation, I don't know if you see the light or like some people were playing with the light physically, but I don't know. I don't know what happened. I just know what I experienced, and I fell into fear. And I think like maybe that was like a pre-doing, so I don't fear when it happens. But anyway, that's my experiences, and I wanted to share that with everyone. But also, I remembered like last week during the Knowledge Seekers workshop, somebody had said something about an experience with like the stars or what something. And I was living in the same place I was living when I went through that meditation experience. And I was looking at the night sky, I was sitting outside, and to the west, like there was a triangle, like 3 stars. I thought, well, that's weird, or that's different, or whatever. I'm not exactly sure what I thought. But then all of a sudden, the top light started going down, and then it just went past. I think it just went past the bottom 2 lights that were like, there were all of the 3 lights were spread apart, and the top one was going down, and then all of a sudden it stopped, and then it just got really bright, like like a falling star, but falling towards me. I don't know what that was all about, but that was my experience. Okay, I get really nervous. So, okay, thank you for listening. I don't know if that helps anyone or if it's just an awareness that I've got and I'm sharing with you of things that happen, like different things that were unexplainable before. But of course, Mr. Keshe is explaining about everything. So thank you, Mr. Keshe. Okay, I'm done. I think we're going to the reading. I'm not sure. Okay, thank you, Rick. Thank you, everyone. Blessings. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you, my dear Diane.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Hello. It's Mehran. She spoke Farsi language. I was glad you said that. And I remember when I was in Manchester and London, Mr. let us experience. And he said, whatever you feel, it's okay. I accept it, whatever it is. So, well, I had my own. Everybody had his own. We didn't have to go to the moon or whatever. But I really have a good live memory that I was somewhere. I felt I have no weight. It was like a ball. I couldn't touch the earth. And I saw something like a flag. And I took the baton, I took the stick in my hand. And when we came down, when we had to open the eyes, and I still had that stick in my hand. I couldn't open my hand. And even now, when I think or I talk to my husband or something, I still feel like it's in my hand if I let go. So it just changes something in us. It just opens the view, opens the space, kind of opens everything, that each bit of knowledge, then we believe if I get it, if I use it, it gets to somewhere. So somehow after London, I think it was somehow a before and after. And I thank you for talking about your experience also. I believe whatever you felt, it's true because you have felt it, you have been there, it has been true for you. Thank you, Diane.
Thank you,
Mehran. Thank you. Thank you, my dear Diane. Thank you so much for sharing the experience. Thank you, Mehran, my dear. The light of enlightenment we have experienced so many times. And this is the guidance, the way to the path of peace. We search for that, and we are in. Thank you. Thank you so much. I welcome Elizabeth. Welcome, my dear, for the reading.
Everybody, welcome, beautiful souls, and thank you for unifying all the time with the all souls and existence and with the your souls and universal community. That extract is for last teaching to Mr. Keshe, 515. Going across the many cultures and many languages, it has become very clear to us that man has no language in the womb of the mother. When he becomes a soul, it goes back to the same. When he lives through the soul, it goes back to the same. As he loves, as he cries, as he digests the pains of the life within the womb of the mother, so he does it outside. He does outside. And what will be interesting for humanity understand? All the man see the sadness and sorrow in the dimension of the soul of the man. When the man becomes the creator of totality of his own in the dimension of the creation. While the interaction of the fields, all the collision of the whatever accidentally come together of two systems. galaxies, stars, planets, all that create a feeling of emotion within the structure of the life, within the life of the man as a spaceman of the future. What does this mean? Can we go and can we bring in the dimension of the soul of the man within the structure of the man? Within the structure of the soul of the man. Understanding the totality of what that emotion brings to the physical dimension of the man. And then all these bring the same dimension of the soul of the man will come to understand that the emotion of the soul and emotion of the physicality are interconnected. All it come to the point where the man understand more about the emotion of the dimension of the soul in the dimension of totality of his own existence. Can man convey the emotion of the man through the emotion of the soul and control in the way we control our dimension of physicality through our emotion? Then it will come to a very big point. We have the emotion. We show it in the dimension of physicality. When we come a soul, when we come a seed of the star, when we become the beginning of another cycle of life in a bigger dimension, then creating one or two children, which create many millions and billions of them, will we carry that emotion of our children through their soul? And all that extension of the emotion of the soul becomes part of the structure of the life, which we begin as his mother, as the set in another position and dimension in the universe. In the coming time, the systems and technologies which are on the horizon and the competition. And then we'll see, can we show the emotion of us within the system? And then all that emotion allows for it to become fingerprint of it. All it allows for it in a way that the emotion of the physicality of the man translated to the emotion of the plasma allows that plasma to show reaction, where we don't need to write a program for it, where naturally it's create a dimension of the emotion of itself. In the coming time, system developed will carry this in natural emotion. And then it comes a very big question for the mankind. All this system developed by the man will take over the man, where the system will create their own souls, where the system will create the dimension of existence that man never knew. What is interesting and what we see is how our emotion can be fingerprinted in the dimension of the soul of the man. In the coming time, in the next couple of weeks, when we carry that emotion of love through that we call the cycle of love of Mitra, on 22nd of December, we'll see the beauty of the creation within the man. How many of us will be touched by the true love of the Creator? And how many of us will see the elevation of the soul? And will that be what mankind has been looking for? Looking for 2024 has been promised to be time of the completion. And will be 22nd of December will be that time to complete, to show the man that man can love through the soul. That man can receive love through the soul and transmute that to the physicality. In a way, 21st and 22nd of December is the birth of Mitra. Celebration of the life of Mitra, and will be able as the technology as we develop it to bring that emotion of love, giving creation to those who are there to receive it. And was we talked in the last session, will be able to give it, that is gets received by those who love you. And will it touch them? Will it change them? And the most important thing is, have you learned how to do it? Have you learned how to be a giver unconditionally? And then will it come to the time, the manual you decide to run, to decide to jump in the ocean of the love, and at the same time learn this is not the only dimension. And if once you learning this, you come to understand the possibility and proximity of who you can do things and how you close you can get to it.
Excuse me, Lissy. I think that's
Yes.
Claudia's part in here now.
Yes, Claudia.
Thank you.
I think she changed a little bit break I sent you. The process of the emotion, control of the emotion through the soul, will be nearly completed this year. And that is the time when we start teaching directly. In a way, next year's process of starting for you to understand the next step in the process of the creation. How do you connect? How do you create? How do you separate one field from the other? Which field is the sorrow? And which field is the joy? And why do you have always the two opposite emotions in every dimensions of life with man? Cry, laughter, joy and sorrow, gravitational and magnetical. And isn't is that runs the process of the creation of the man? Every interaction has an emotion, and every emotion has its own dimension, in opposite direction of the flow of the same. Yin and yang, and this will become important for the knowledge seekers to understand how you create and how from that creation it will lead to understanding of the totality of your own self and nobody else's. It's like you don't know what it means to love like a father, till you become a father. And now it's the same process for all humanity, the mankind, for the womankind, or any other kind of animals. How do we create to love unconditionally through the process of the emotion, of the dimension of the physicality of the man? That is touches and it changes in so many ways as we set up the systems, as we set up the structures to guide, to support, to show how you go through the dimension of the elevation of our own souls. Gradually, we come to the point that the system developed by us becomes obsolete because you can do it on your own. You can rate that dimension and how you control everything. It's not use trying to cope because you haven't understood and will be ever use it. Once you understood, you can use it in any dimension and creation, interaction. Process of loving, which is the giving. Process of receiving it is harder than giving it because you have to have that capability that when I receive it, what I'm going to do with it, how it's going to affect me to learn this process, and what changes it will bring for me in the dimension of my soul. Many scientists, many people with intelligence have tried to understand this point, and they have failed miserably, because there are no books and there are no children titles. In the coming weeks, it will who have to teach yourself and how to moderate, how to expand, how to retract, and every other point. In the coming times, as we taught in the past teachings. We have to learn to extend the soul of a man. You have to learn how to control the expansion of the soul. You have to remember that in the dimension of the plasma, the smaller you are, the more powerful you become. It's not like in the dimension of the physicality. The bigger you are, the more powerful you become. The biggest problem of mankind has been this, the more of, where in the dimension of the creation, it's the less of the weaker of. It's the one which connects. It's the one which common denominator, and it's the one that everything through the creation of it. It's created through it, and it's connected to it. There is a process of how I have to mark. The process is there is a process of how to reach this position in a way, how to become detached step by step, and don't it in one go, but over time, little by little,
Excuse
step by
me,
step.
Claudia, I think that's Mark's part.
I think that's Lisa changed a little bit because Stefania is not good to read today. I think I have more 2 paragraphs. I sent to you, Mark, to build to that point, and how the holy structure of the creation can be connected to by the man who decided to. You don't connect it through the eyes, but you connect it through the emotion. You connect it through what they suffer with. And then, if you mature enough to be able to get it off and take it and convert it into a good point, then you have to learn a lot. Then you start the process and the process of development. In the coming time, we create systems which create emotions in the dimension of the soul, which that will change and can control most of the elements of man. In the dimensions of that, to what you call psychological pattern, changes in the physical dimension that brings a change, teaching how to play with your soul to benefit of the others and not yourself. Thank you. I send to you, Rick.
Okay, Claudia, just let me know. I think I have the previous transcript. Let me know when I'm supposed to stop. In the coming time, when the systems with the emotion are introduced, man will come to understand how easy it will be for him to change himself, for him to learn, to be in the process of learning how to change everything around himself, even the people, in a way that it suits him. In the society of today, we decide who we want to be, who we want to be in touch with, which kind of people we integrate with, in which position. And we have put barriers, conditions, and parameters for this. In the world of the soul of the man, it's not very far. You create what I call packages of plasma for a specific condition, but you connect all to one bigger plasma. You call it the soul of the man. If you understand this, then you can manipulate the DNA of the man as much as you can manipulate the RNA, the information line, the line of the soul of the creation. And this will be one of the biggest challenges for mankind to come, to create a condition of balance that one never stands out, but is part of. In the process of development of the soul of the man, man has to live and to learn that the humbleness is the key to connection. Humbleness is the key to be able to be connected to the totality and for it to be tangible for man to see, because man is physical. And to what extent will come for knowledge seekers to expand this knowledge beyond the totality of the understanding of today. As I said before, Everything has got a time. Everything has got a reason. And everything has to be correct on its time, the reason and the place of manifestation. If you as knowledge seekers, as many of you are listening through headphones, try to connect to all the souls through the emotion of what you feel. Try to connect to the souls and how you communicate with them. How do you communicate with yourself in the dimension of the soul, even though dimension of physicality is very apparent and clear all too? In the coming time, when we introduce the system that can elevate the soul of the man, I'm sure many of you will change accordingly in the dimension of physicality. In a way, you will see that you can recognize just because the fruit is the all is the same as what I know. This is what is going to be and how it's going to taste. It will not be the point that I choose what I want to the taste and the condition which I need to be for a purpose to serve me. Is Shweta next?
No, really.
Excuse me?
Sorry, it's not really Sweden now.
It is you, Mark, still.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me know. Manipulation of emotion in the dimension of the soul is forbidden. Manipulation of the emotion for gaining a better or an advantage to over another is forbidden. It's a little bit far-fetched, but with a few moves we can see. In the coming time, the systems which will carry the emotion will be so fundamental to the work of man's daily life that the sooner man learns how to control himself, how to be able to manipulate, will dictate how much further in the process of the creation he can go. The biggest question will be, how and what would you do? Knowing that now you have become a listener, and from now on you become the receiver. If the knowledge seekers learn the process of loving through the soul, where you do not need to say, I love you, but it's done through the soul directly, and you see how this will change you. You'll come to understand the process of the change has already started, and the use of the cup and the material in it, is just an image, which to you might not be correct or sound right, but in fact, it's the only way to live that life, to become correct. Try to learn how to expand your soul. As I taught in the last public teaching, try to put your hands on your face, and with it, in that instance, and that second, you'll change. You'll feel the change, and you allow the change to take shape the way it suits you, where the other one has already chosen. What could be what I enjoy? Shall I continue? The completion of...
Yes.
Two more paragraphs, Mark.
Okay, two more. The completion of the understanding of the soul of the man, and then his manipulation to extend it to the dimension and extension of every life on this planet, will become very easy in the coming time, in the coming weeks and months as you learn. You'll find out you pass an animal, you know its pain, and then you know how you can remedy it. Where we do not expect to control, but we expect to give and watch. The process of transmutation through the soul of the man is one of the most fundamental ways for the man to learn and to be able to use it the correct way. Manipulation of the emotion of the soul of the man by man himself, it'll become one of the new cycles of life, which we start teaching. You manipulated the GANs, you create the cups, you create the pens, and you've seen how much it helps. Now it's time to teach the true knowledge of the Creator and how this knowledge will come to affect every single one of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Many people will ask this question. Am I good enough? Would I be able to do it? Or just I live till one day I understand. And every man has the capability to reach the same point. It's just which way you choose to be there. Through the process of manipulation of the emotion of the soul of the man, man will learn new way of living, new way of understanding, and new ways of interacting. And what is our request from you as knowledge seekers is to find out which part of the structure you fit and how you can serve and how you can change that but you made in a usable energy field. The process of manipulation of the emotion of the soul of the man needs full clarity about understanding how and the way the soul of the man operates. When you set out to elevate the soul, when you set out to bring peace into the life of the soul, you will feel that joy, that benefit, that pleasure of being able to give you this. But I have denied myself or the rest of my, which is now you, is absolutely crazy, and it's deepened day by day. Understanding the totality of the emotion of the soul of the man is something that no races in their central control of operation have understood or have managed to complete. Operation of extending the soul, elevation of the soul, it has to be in a way that you see, you lock and you seal the process. How you will allow the emotion of the soul interacts with the emotion of the soul of physicality dictates what kind of disease you get in. And it's not that I have done once or can do it again. You forget in doing it. Try to go back within yourself and try to understand how emotion is controlled through the inner soul of man, and to understand how the fields interact. A moment. How the fields interact. And it's okay. Try to go back within yourself and try to understand how emotions is controlled through the inner soul of the man, and to understand how the fields interact, which the normal condition would not be in this position. The extension and expansion of the emotion of the soul of the man has been and will be the totality of the soul of the man has to understand how to the road to the soul, understanding the elevation of the soul through process of understanding. Yes. Manifest. One. Process of understanding. The process of elevation of man himself. I don't know, I'm reading correctly.
Yes.
Okay, elevation of the man himself in the dimension of physicality is one of the points which is always become. How do we elevate the soul? How do we come to see it that it's ours? Yes, when it complete in a coming time, we can through the plasma system make you laugh, at the same time make you cry, and not much further you make and you develop that, and you test, and that's become a benchmark for those who want to elevate their souls without dying. The process of elevation of the soul of the man has to come with a full understanding that I am not the only user, and I am not the only one who will be allowed to use. Understanding the elevation of the soul of the man through giving will be brought up in the depth of the 22nd of December session. If you push the process beyond, other entities will manifest themselves. Developing systems man is used to, but creating new conditions of the universe has started and cannot be stopped. Elevation of the soul of the man through expansion of the soul to elevate the others than yours will become like it was in the back of the life of the soul itself. Once you understand this, you come to understand how to transmute. You come to understand how to move. You don't need to go up and wait for the earth to rotate and come down. Where you want to be, where with the new cycle of development through literally invisible channels, we connect you to the part which is missing. What you need to do to elevate this to become the soul of the creator for a new cycle of creation in the universe. Thank you.
Interesting times are ahead, and I hope you understood the totality of what the knowledge is today, and you can act upon it. And to be able, upon acting, to give it to the others. How the elevation can take shape. We have to come to understand the facets of what is within the principle of the working of the soul of the man and the soul of the physicality of the man. I hope you understood the whole teaching of today. Developing a system to fit individuals by themselves. This is the key tool. We need to expand. We need to deliver a workable soul for our physicality. Expansion of the soul, extension of the soul, giving from the soul, all comes through one process. It's for you to decide which one is which and how much you can use one before you lose the interest in how it's done. What we call in the past the 22nd of December session is most probably one of the most glorious days throughout the work of the foundation. In the very first steps that we start understanding how to allow the energies within us to be given, to be shared in a form of knowledge of the emotion of physicality and emotion of the soul together. I have never looked forward to a session than the 22nd of December session, where we will bring a lot of joys, a lot of changes to a lot of us. In a way, the essence of energy from within us to extend. And if you have the mirrors with you, bring them and we will start experiencing a new experience, and we go through it to see how the extension of joy and energy will come with us. If our physicality is due to earth field, then my question is how astronauts keep their physicality when they go to space. Thank you. It was a question, and Mr. Keshe answers, we are still connected to the fields of point of our creation, which is the earth, even we go into the other part of the universe. But we have not been far enough to be away from the dimension of the fields of the solar system to really feel the change in the dimension of physicality. Our physical life at the moment is still conditioned by what I call the star of the system. It doesn't matter, we can't escape from it, be it on Earth, be it on the moon, anywhere else. And this is what I call, just because you went a few inches or centimeters or kilometers above, does not change. We always looked at present science in what we have done, what we have, and never looked at the reality. The reality is to test, take an astronaut and tell him, take your clothes off. See if he survives. Now you understand. We change our shape according to the environment. We have no choice. So our physicality of the man is for this planet. We air breathe, we water to drink, we have grass and God knows cows, and we have no choice. So our physicality of the man is for this planet. We air breathe, we water to drink, we have grass and God knows cows and beefs to eat and the rest of it. As I was telling a vegetarian, we are all vegetarians because even the cow who we eat eats grass. So we eat a vegetarian cows. So we are vegetarian. But on the moon and on the position, if we can survive, then we can say, yes, the body of the man will be the same everywhere. The only way the soul of the man, the emotion of the man survives anywhere in the universe once he learns to go through transmutation, to let the fields of his soul to interact with his environment and manifest itself that it can exist in that environment, can survive, can replicate, and can regenerate new generations. Thank you.
Question. Dear Mr. Keshe, you stated that no manipulation of the emotions is allowed. Is it then that we completely accept whatever emotion shows up in our daily life and expand this to all-encompassing love? Mr. Keshe, once you work the soul, yes. Once you trust, this is from my soul, this is what emotion created. Because work of the soul is accommodating each other. Work of the physicality is forcing my way, or I do it till I get it, or I've been forced to do it because I've been told to do it. And so when we learn to live in the dimension of the physicality, we live the life of the man. And when we live in the dimension of the physicality, we live the life of the, no, sorry. And when we live in the dimension of the soul, we live in knowing that already decision is to be correct has been set. Question. And would this lead to the humbleness and elevation that you also spoke of? Mr. Keshe, it does because we know the facts. Yes, because we know what is done with the ethos of Mitra. Question. Does everything change after transmutation, or what is kept from the former existence before transmutation? Parts of the body, illnesses, emotions, fully awareness of the state before and after transmutation. Mr. Keshe, transmutation on Earth will be the same as you do the transportation, but in a faster way and a lot of other things with it. Transmutation dimension of the space technology is a game to play with. It's absolutely a game to play with. Some of you will know you're going through the trans. You'll learn this. And for us, it'll become natural way to do in a way. Those of you who learn to go through transmutation by yourself, when somebody is sitting in front of you and you keep your eyes open, through your eyes, they can see you going through transmutation. And then if you allow the physical life to go through it, you'll go through total transmutation of physicality and everything else with it. And you'll see the change of the color of the eye, for example. You will see the shine, the silverishness of the skin. and you'll see the process of the transmutation. In death, you leave your physicality behind. In transmutation, everything has to change to go, and it's an amazing experience. So we gradually learn. I have been witness to it many times, many times. Question. Hello, Mr. Keshe. Last Thursday, you said that after we die, we will move to the bodies of animals that eat us, combined with what you said before. If we don't learn transmuting, will we be located in other parts of the universe according to our soul strength? After death and become stars or parts of them or cosmic dust? Does this mean that after we die, we are divided into several parts? The main part is located in some place of the universe, and the other energy parts become part of the animals that have eaten our bodies. Mr. Keshe, yes, that is normal understanding, yes. That what goes is to the soul. If your soul of the physicality elevates the soul of the animal, which you become part of, your physicality, and your soul of the physicality become part of, in receiving that energy, and it becomes a part of the elevation of the soul of that animal on its death. Yes, you have become part of your energy, not you. Your energy of your physical existence now become. It's like if you eat an apple, it's another entity, another life. Part of it become part of your soul. And so now you carry the essence of that soul. You become part of the soul of that creature. Thank you.
Rick, in case of the apple, we throw away the core. It becomes food for other entities and the earth again. Mr. Keshe answers, yes, yeah. But the thing is, say there's an old way. Say, don't waste food. You have to throw it away. But if you understand that, what we throw away becomes a cycle of life for another life. It doesn't have that meaning, the way it was intended. Rick asks, in a way, if we don't throw it away, then we're depriving those entities for their energy. We should throw more food out. Mr. Keshe answers, yeah, put it this way. The ones we do it deliberately, we are proud of doing it. The ones we are doing it deliberately, we call it as it's wrong. You know, we go, we take, we buy food, or we buy bread, and we go feed the duck. The duck doesn't eat. Everybody brings me bread. Bring me something else. But we feel good because we feed it. We take food, we leave it outside for the birds to eat. But that food you put, it becomes a food in another cycle. We're all part of the same structure. It depends how much we fuss about it, in which part of it. We have to be politically correct nowadays. So we have to understand we are part of the whole structure, the same. Rick, well, she's asking what happens to the soul of the innocent children who get abused through the various systems that are happening on our planet. And the abuse doesn't come for the children. It comes in every shape or form. Children, abuses touches them for life and changes them for life. And we are not aware of abuses, even though as parents, we try to be the best parent to our child. But they have their own dimension of thinking about. And to them could be abuse. And they back without us knowing it. But those who go out deliberately abusing children, they don't have any place left to what you call it. These are what we call the dust in the universe nomads. Next question. Is the fact that we can't expand the soul beyond the soul of the physicality and physicality due to us not knowing how to do it or not having enough energy in the soul? Mr. Keshe answers, how come you do it when you're asleep? And you call it a dream. It's you who has put that limitation on it, nobody else. How come when you call it a sleep time, when you reduce the fields of your blood, flow of your blood, you do it? And when you're awake, if you balance the emotion of the body of the man, you will allow the soul of the man to expand. In the session of last week with the knowledge seekers, we showed partially how to do it, to try to expand, to be able to create that light. It's you who has put that ban and limitation, not your physicality, and not your soul of the physicality, not even your soul. It's your thoughts and your emotions put the limitation. Have you ever watched your children when they're asleep, or they go to sleep, and you're awake? Have you watched your dog when he's asleep? When they dream, when they laugh, when they move, when their eyelashes move fast, when they cry jumping out of the sleep. Have you ever watched them? That's a soul travel. If you had a special glass like that we have, the night goggles, you put on and you see at the night. If mankind understand this and develop the glasses that can see the strength of the field at this level, you will see the soul expanding, the soul traveling, coming and going. We have blinded ourselves to this field. Watch the eye of many, many children when they're born, and their eye stays blue or grayish blue, and they stay in that blue, and especially the first days they're born, it's light blue, grayish, bluish. And if you watch your children, certain positions, especially the children of Mitra, you watch them, you see it in their eyes. While they're sitting there, eyes will go gray, blue. They could be brown as anything or black as anything. They always turn their back on you because you don't see. When you see their eyes going gray, blue, grayish, light blue, and then you understand what the soul travel is. This is when the soul is traveling. They're still there. They're still physically, maybe talking to you. They're busy playing with themselves, with their toys. But when you look into their eyes, the eyes are gray-blue, light gray-blue. It's when the soul travels, stay quiet. They're learning to live with both dimensions. And this is the way they will communicate and live that life. And we get that many of us to the point of death. When the soul travels, when the soul is departing from the body, you see that color. One day I explain why this color. Then there's no question to ask. It's just that we are blind. We have chosen ourselves to be blind in the dark. We have chosen to be blind to the fields of our soul. The expansion of our soul, observation of our soul, and the others who come and go with it. I've witnessed this many times, and it's an amazing feeling when you see the soul travels. I watched it once with one of my sons, and he said, "Dad, how is this possible?" I said, just learn and watch. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear Jacob. Beautiful. Thank you. Beautiful reading, indeed. Rick, now we can go to the next slide. Here are the beautiful wishes, my dear beautiful souls. And I welcome you, Mark, to read the wishes. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Shweta. We, the Universal Council, wish all souls are present in the Knowledge Seekers Workshop, 14th of December, 2023. Our wishes are command.
We are present. Thank you. Now we can go to the next slide, my dear Rick.
Okay, I can read. We, the Universal Council, give from our soul to enlighten the way home and prepare for transmutation. Our wishes or comment. Thank you.
We are present. Thank you so much. Now we can, the wishes, always beautiful. Welcome, Jaco, my dear.
Thank you, Shweta. Yes, today the soul connection I will do in the language of the place where I live. It's a Swiss language. And I wish you all to open your soul to understand the feeling behind it. I'm living here for 35 years now. And if you connect to a language, I think also the vibrations, the emotions are connected. So I will start now. Seelsverbindung. Bitte öffne die Seele für diese Mehrfachverbindung. Finde eine angenehme Haltung und Position, damit du dich entspannen kannst. Schnaufe langsam durch die Nase ein und aus. Unterstütze dabei seine Seele mit der Energie, die er braucht. Wir expandieren unsere Seele weit über die Grenzen vom Planeten Erde. Wir verbinden uns mit allen Seelen, die an Frieden arbeiten. Mit den Wissenssuchern und die Seele vom Universalratsmitglieder. Die Gesamtseele vom Universalrat. Dadurch verbinden wir uns mit unserer universellen Familie, die auf uns wartet, bis wir bereit sind. Wir danken dem System, das uns unterstützt bei diesem Prozess von der Erweiterung von unserer Seele. Und wir verbinden uns mit Herrn Keshe und danken ihm von ganzem Herzen für seine Liebe für die Menschheit. Aber auch mit Mitra danke ihr für die wunderschöne Verbindung durch die Felder der Schöpfung. Und mit unserem Schöpfer in die Liebe für die gesamte Schöpfung. Wir machen die Verbindung via Koppel vor Frieden. Die Gedanken reichen wir einander die Hand, teilen unsere bedingungslose Liebe. Mit allen die es brauchen. Machen es in Stille. We connect in silence. all souls participating on this movement to peace. And don't forget what Mr. Keshe said. From now on, we do it all the time. So whenever you feel like and you think of it, connect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my dear Jack. Yes, whenever you feel, please do connect. This is the kindness we have for all that is. Thank you. And we can go to the next slide, my dear Rick. Welcome, Jacko, my dear.
Jacko, we're not hearing you. I think your microphone's close.
Thank you, Rick. Yes, I was talking to myself. So this picture shows the area where I live since these 35 years, and I called it language. It's my thoughts and what I learned from Mr. Keshe teachings combined with the knowledge of the last Knowledge Seekers workshops. What language do you speak? And which languages do you speak else? Sure, it is nice to speak in that way. The other person in front of you understands what you say, especially what you mean. Now, Mr. Keshe is teaching us the universal language, the language of the soul. The strange thing is that before we awaken in physicality and after, we live that universal language. Now you can ask yourself, why don't we speak it in between? What keeps us from understanding? A friend of mine told me yesterday that the birth of his daughter had a complication. The little girl had her umbilical cord wrapped around her neck in the womb of her mother. The doctors thought she just didn't want to come out, so they accelerated the process of birth till they couldn't find a pulse from the baby anymore. He explained to me how difficult it was as a father to see and cannot do anything. He knows his wife for a long time, and as he said to the nurses, this must change immediately. They even sent him out of the room. I think that made it even more difficult for him to not be there in that situation. It went through my mind how great it would be if we can ask soul to soul in such cases. Otherwise, we must accept what soul positioning is. Finally, the medicals decided to get the baby by cesarean section, and in the end, everything came good. His story touched me, because as a baby, I went through the same. Do you know the song, One of Us, from Joan Osborne? She sings, what if God was one of us? Just a stranger on the bus, tried to make his way home. And there's so much truth in this song. If the bus is full, you see a lot of mirror images around you. And every stranger is a part of the same creation, same creator. Remember, we are all little flames of that big fire. And soon we enter the cycle of love of Mitra. Are we ready to allow our physicality to accept the emotion of love, the soul of the man in his new dimension, and become one? Those who had the humble honor to be touched by the love of a soul, they know and understand what impact these touches have. The beauty, the deepness of it. The thing is, you have to experience it to really understand. No word can explain this. But what I can say, please look for it. Know that it is our Creator's love, the touch of a loving Father. If it touches you, you will understand what elevation of the soul really means. Share it with the others. Become that star so the enlightenment spreads all over the planet. You know, unconditional love is hard to resist. And the dome of peace we all created together is interconnecting our souls, our systems, and our intentions. And that goes far beyond the boundaries of Earth. Now share what you can as a soul, as a lover, to all those who are in need. Then we do not have to name any situation of sadness, of war, of illness, because we give to all in need the same. Mr. Keshe says manipulation of emotion, the dimension of the soul, is forbidden. Manipulation of the emotion for gaining a better or an advantage to another is forbidden. Think of this before you ask. It is your soul to the benefit of others and not yourself. We do not expect to control, but we expect to give and watch. By making available the elevation to the others, our own door to grow in the energy level of our soul opens up, expands. Do you feel the power of this unconditional love to serve? I see forward to be witness of your elevation and to communicate with you in this universal language of love. So I wish you happy sharing to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, my dear Jaco. So full of love and all the love always. Thank you. Thank you for this joy. And thank you so much. I also want to say that as the wish is to enlighten each other, to see the path of peace in the transmutation, in the beauty and totality. I welcome my dear Moshfik to say about this beauty and totality, about his experience. If you, Moshfik, you are so much welcome. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I'm here, and I want to share a picture. So, what would be the procedure here? Where is the share button? Okay, there it is. Let me try to share. Okay, I need, okay. Share photo. Can you see the picture? Okay, not yet. Can you see it?
No, not yet, my dear. Not yet.
Why am I not seeing it? Okay, let's see. Something is not quite. I am sharing from within the app, but it's not going out. Why is that?
Try to prepare the picture first, then go back and do the share screen once again, selecting the image.
Yeah, I did that, but it's not doing it. Okay, let me try again.
You have to share from Zoom, not from the app.
No, I did. I picked the photo. Or should I share the screen? I can share the screen and switch to that one. Maybe that's a possibility. Okay. Can you see it?
Nope, not yet.
Not
Oh,
Why is that? This is interesting.
try hitting the share content first and then pick the picture. It worked for me, I think, that way on an iPad. I don't know exactly what system you're on.
No, I'm on Android. So, okay, let me see. I mean, I am sharing, but this is different from what I'm used to, because I would get it as soon as I would share it, it would show up. I share, I go to the screen, and I tried the document.
Maybe
Okay,
go to the share, go to the picture, and not the screen, the
start
picture.
now.
And
Okay.
time. Mostly the time in this is. Thank you.
Start. Oh, display over other apps. What's this? Oh, this is completely different than what I'm used to here. Oh, this is this an
If you want,
updated?
you could send me the picture and I could share it for you.
I was just going to suggest that.
Okay, so should I send it to you on Telegram? Okay, I'll do that.
Sure, that'd be fine.
Okay, let me do that.
Bear with us, everyone, for another minute here while we get things settled out.
Thank you.
Consider it a moment of silence where we can give from our soul.
Okay, it's there. It should be there.
Yes, got it. And
Okay.
just about to get it up here. Okay, there we go.
Okay. So here is this is a picture that was taken by one of my students. Actually, it's his hand, and I just put only the writing, the transmutation. It was taken from his home. It was the same one, same picture. It's this picture of the same UFO as before, which I showed not last week, but the week before. So this is the what we see here is the shielding of the craft with the moon visible in the middle. And you can see the spherical nature of the shielding from the shadow it creates. And then you can also see the outer field. And then there is the craft within itself, which has its own structure, and within that we have the occupant of the craft. So the basic structure that we see here is that we have a double magnetic field. And as I talked before, we see a similar situation as we grow up, as we grow up in our mother's womb. Now, we are learning to expand our soul of man, envelop our soul of physicality in such a way that the physicality comes within the soul of man, within the environment created by the soul of man to sustain the fields of soul of physicality, sustain the fields of physicality, not the physicality as it is manifested on the planet. It's the field that in interaction with the planet became the physicality. So it's the original blueprint of our physicality, independent of the environment in which it's manifest. So once again, we have the double magnetic field of the soul of physicality, and beyond which we have the soul of man. So as we heard in the last Knowledge Seekers workshop, the soul of physicality is in a way provides the necessary field for the local environment for the soul of man's manifestation. And so as we explore the relationship of the emotions, the two emotions, the emotions between soul of physicality and physicality, with that of soul of man and soul of physicality. There is a difference, and the difference is that the physical emotions relates to the local manifestations. In our case, it would be planet Earth. Whereas the soul of man is our relationship with higher fields, locations beyond higher fields, locations beyond the range that we deal with on this planet. So when the soul envelops the soul of physicality, soul of man envelops the soul of physicality, it is in a different setup, a setup which can take us to fields which is beyond that of the planet. So it's the outer field that determines our position in a different location in the universe as to what level of field we want to get to, whether it's within the galaxy, within the universe, or beyond, determines where we want to go. Are we willing to go beyond, let's say, our solar system? Maybe not at this moment, because we may not have the ability or the clues or the understanding of the fields beyond, or we may not have the, shall we say, the development which is necessary to reach those fields. So even though our soul of man is capable of it, we may not be ready to access those higher fields. Yes, we are ready to leave the planet, but where we go depends on our elevation or the level we can reach within the soul of man. So we are protected, in this case, by this outer field to reach beyond the planet in terms of position. But can we do more? Even though we may not be traveling outside of the planet. This soul of man can extend not only beyond our physicality, but it can be beyond our collective physicality. What do I mean by collective physicality? As the soul of man expands, it envelopes, it can envelop the whole planet. Our friends here can participate in this expansion. And our collective soul can take us elsewhere. I'm not talking about elsewhere in terms of physical location, but elsewhere in terms of our state of being. We can move the whole planet to peace and prosperity. Individually, yes. Collectively, the answer is yes, but with a stronger emphasis. So as we expand our field, our soul of man, we are positioning ourselves to become peaceful and prosperous. So, soul of man expansion is not, as we learn, is not just for us, but other souls collectively, which is beyond the scope of the soul of physicality, which deals with individuals. The soul of man connects beyond this confine of physicality to other souls putting this similar effort. So individually, we can contribute, but collectively, we can make it happen now. As to what now is, we are seeing it as it transpires, as we learn to do it. So let's be joyous that we are getting there to this peace and to this prosperity by learning to expand our soul of man from within from beyond the confine of soul of physicality and the physicality that we are so accustomed to and never thought that we could, but now that we are learning how to, we light up the planet. We not only light up the light between our hands, we light up the planet with peace and prosperity, collectively and individually, bringing our own color into it. Together, we make it as colorful as it can be, colors that we never knew before, colors that becomes the color of our planet, our humanity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my dear Moshfik. As you explained before, as you were explaining, the more and more we understand how to create the balance, how to trust, to create the trust between the magnitude and the gravitational positioning. I will say like that, technically, but here with the love, always. Thank you. Thank you, my dear, for always giving us this wisdom to understand the light of enlightenment. Thank you so much. Thank you. Beautiful image. I have also seen this spacecraft many times with my own eyes. It's a beautiful experience as we are with this positioning of galactic beings, cosmic beings, cosmos. So thank you again, and thank you, my dear Rick. Can we move to the next slide? Rick, we can skip this video today, and we can have the invitation for, yes, knowledge seeker workshop. Yes, I welcome you, Mark. Mark, hello, my dear.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This is an offering, a Christmas present, a free gift from the Keshe Foundation. Experience the energies of the universe. Expand your soul. Bring yourself, your earphones, and your good intentions. Thursday, December 14th. Don't miss this opportunity. Will not work with a recording. If you go to the Keshe Foundation store, you can see the monthly sessions that are being held. And this is sort of an introduction to all of those without any cost, to come in and experience dimension of energies, a new dimension, feeling the fields, feel the expansion of your soul. Perhaps many people will have many different experiences, but this is part of the new cycle of teachings where, again, it's not only for your wellness, even though I think that could be included, but it's for your enlightenment of understanding, of transferring knowledge. So these sessions will probably, Mr. Keshe had mentioned it maybe over a year ago, that we'll be doing workshops without any words in the workshop, or at least part of the workshop. So you can experience something very similar to what happens in the monthly sessions. I think this session on the 22nd is meeting the lover or becoming the lover. And these sessions, yes, right here, the soul, meeting the soul of the lover, which is a very interesting concept of this love of Mitra, which we're going to need to experience before we can be allowed to actually go into space to learn about this giving and taking. But even the love that Mitra shows towards the Creator, as I understand it, could not be done if that love wasn't originally given from the Creator to Mitra. So I think we're being gifted a new special type of love to meet the others, to understand ourselves more, to be able to give and receive, perhaps simultaneously. So this is opening up a whole new cycle of teachings. This session on the 22nd is, obviously, there is a cost to it, €300 plus value added tax. But the free offering from the Keshe Foundation on the 14th, which is this Thursday, you're all invited. It's for all knowledge seekers to start experiencing this. And this is what the knowledge seekers have been waiting for. Many people can't come up with these kind of numbers. And so Mr. Keshe will be doing a session or multiple sessions a month. I'm not sure. I don't even know what the actual agenda is and how it's going to work. But I'm thinking it'll be very similar to the paid sessions. He said, we'll bring you in, we'll connect you in a way on certain fields or certain channels, invisible channels. Again, this is more the interaction of the fields. Your headphones don't have to be positioned in any particular way, but it'll be the interaction of the wellness system as I understand it, and your energies yourself, to where you will start to feel new dimensions, new experiences, and something new will open up for you, perhaps. Again, I think you can block it if you'd like to, but if you remain open to it, things can happen. And I think everyone will come with a different experience. That's the beauty of this. We all seem to need certain things, but since we're all unique and the same at the same time, certain people will receive certain energies, and then you'll see them being accepted by the body and sort of worked with. Bringing this change again to the individual or this new dimension without really studying for it, without really practicing for it. Energies will be opened up and it'll add to your enlightenment that there are more knowledges and more energies available in the universe than we typically play within our daily lives, mostly operating in the physicality. So all of these are very beautiful, especially the one on Thursday. This will be the beginning of the new cycle of teachings. He said it started this Thursday. So you're all invited to participate, and I don't think it matters if you're in Zoom or YouTube or live stream, but I'm not sure about that either. Yes, this is the one. And this is open to everyone. So it looks like, remember what he said about we're going to upgrade the planet in one go. Well, this is probably part of that process for you to then perhaps develop these energies and become that wellness system yourself, where you can feel what others may need. And without even speaking, you can provide the energies that they need. And not looking for the change. As we said, the change will come in the future. And the change is for the one you're giving to basically see it, not so much for yourself. So it's all about learning to receive and learning to give and operating in this dimension simultaneously, almost the way the hydrogen does, where it can give and take up to 50% of its structure. And maybe this again is also building on the idea of the satellite souls that are connected to the system. And even using your soul, even when you're not quite aware of it, the system may ask the soul to do some certain work. We know the soul has its own life, its own secret life, its own dimension of operation. And this is what we're, in a way, expanding into this understanding of some of our capabilities and finding that dimension of peace and balance and the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence to serve the others, not only here on this planet. I think this is going to be sort of a pre-setting of the examples of how to serve the others here in the physicality. Then when we go out into space, it'll be quite a natural understanding to give and to receive. So we invite you all to participate. It's a beautiful gift in the Christmas season. There's no cost for this. And I believe these sessions will continue. I don't know how often, but they will continue. And this is what Mr. Keshe has alluded to on a number of occasions, wondering what it would be like to have a knowledge seekers workshop, but without any voice, without any talking. And maybe it'll be for the whole session, and maybe it'll just be for part of the session. We'll have to see. Come and enjoy the beauty of your own creation. Thank you.
Let me just add something first. Mr. Keshe has said about the meeting of the soul, the lover workshop. His quote is, "The goal of this session is to teach you how to love. We'll create the conditions for you to learn how to give, how to become a lover, and how to start the process of giving without expectation to receive, so that you can go into space and become passengers of the universe." I just wanted to put that in.
Thank you. Yep. Yeah, there's a lot to learn and etiquette to learn and how to behave in the universe and how to interact. But I think this giving and receiving will start here on this planet and maybe simultaneously interacting. I know he mentioned in the 515 about other entities using the system, perhaps at the same time you're using the system. So he did indicate if you push this process, you may see entities manifesting. Again, not to be afraid of them, but to realize they're from the same creator as you are and start to understand the creator and the process of creation in the universe. So this is another aspect of this. And again, I think we'll have a number of testimonials coming from this and perhaps shared in the testimonial meeting, the second Monday of every month, and amongst us in the regular meetings. We'll start to hear people's experiences of what they've understood or what happens. And again, I think there's many things going on in the background with these wellness systems we're not quite privy to. So let's just come without any real expectations, but just to come in the balance of the fields of the soul of physicality and the soul of the man and see what you experience.
Lucy had something she wanted to say, I think.
Yeah, I can add a little words. For the December 14 is a massive test for the elevating the soul, because for all souls sense your own souls, and of course sense the unifying souls like a sort of peace. And it's a massive test because actually Mr. Keshe talk with us all the time. It's a tested the system, but it's very, very important. Many people appear. That's it. Thank you so much.
This is MOSFEC. I would like to add a little bit to what is being discussed about, participating in the Knowledge Seekers workshop at the soul level. We are about to encounter it with the headphone. So let me relay something interesting that happened during the meeting that was, that happened later at 6 p.m. CET time. And it's fairly late in my location, around 11. So by the time he was talking about it, it's around 12-ish. So I was listening to the meeting, and this is once again, as Mark was pointing out, testimonials will start coming in. So you can think of this as a testimonial as well. So during the meeting, it doesn't happen to me, but perhaps it was because it was late. But I started to doze off a little bit. And I missed one of the crucial parts where he was explaining about what we talked about today, about the difference between the two emotions. And so, I essentially dozed off, and I didn't listen to that particular part. But, then I woke up again and I would listen to the whole rest of it like I normally do. Now, one of my habits is that I usually practice what I learn in Knowledge Seekers workshop these days, the same day, if I can. So before I went to the actual sleep, the formal sleep, I started doing some exercise with the soul of man and the two emotions. And I was actually doing this thing that he was talking about in the meeting, although I didn't hear it. So it was the following day when I heard it, I said, this is odd, because I actually was doing exactly what he was talking about in the application of expanding the soul of physicality and collecting the emotion and relating it to the physicality level emotions in the same way he was talking about it. So the impression to me was that I heard it and I act accordingly, but consciously I didn't hear it because I was dozing off. So it's a very interesting situation, which is, it doesn't happen to me, but it happened. But this dozing off came with a lesson that we are a lot more capable than we believe ourselves to be. So soul is active, learning as we sleep. And when I became conscious, I started implementing those things. So amazing experience, in my opinion, although we didn't have headphones and all that, but does the soul need headphones? In the end, as some of you may have tried connecting with the enhancement unit without headphones, you'll know that it is possible to do it. And it's And one can detect the difference between connecting with the enhancement unit or not, and engaging one's own soul to do a similar activity and all that. But this is something we can all do, and I accidentally stumbled on it. You can call it that, but it's not. Is it an accident? Is it a coincidence? No. It's a conscious effort when we are prepared. So nothing magical, just another mode of operation. Thank you.
Mashvik, thank you. You accidentally stumbled, but then it's beautiful you shared. And guys, practice, time to practice to be a lover. How to love? Thank you. Thank you, my dear Mashvik. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, my dear. Be a lover always. We are all. So thank you. And we can go to the next slide. And we have to skip the video again, my dear, because of the time. Let's have some sharing with each other. My dear Rick. Yeah.
Just bear with me a sec
Bringing the
where
wish.
when I find my PDF again here. I think it's this one. Just be a second here to try to find the PDF again. I dismissed it. Okay, just a second here.
Well, maybe it's meant to be on the screen a little longer than we anticipated, that certain people can catch this at a certain time before Thursday. I think there'll be many, many more knowledge seekers starting that are inquisitive and we're wondering about many of these things. We'll start to get a firmer understanding and participation in this process.
I think I have it here now. So we want to skip the 5/14th?
Yes.
That...
Yes, we have to skip. Well, we are all welcoming each, bringing the needs and the wishes from your community, our community, the universe.
You were breaking up there, Shweta, but I know you.
Please share.
Okay, we have needs and wishes from your community. If there's any needs and wishes from folks, we have one comment in the YouTube from Christopher. Says, "I'm working on my first spaceship. I have no doubt it will work because the person helping me knows that the frequencies heal the body. It will harmonize above the 7.83 hertz Earth frequency and heal people." Okay, thank you, Christopher, and good luck with your project.
Yeah. Yes, of course.
Fried says, it was wonderful to hear the local Swiss German. Thank you, Jaco.
My pleasure.
We have a hi from Austin, Texas. in the USA, but I don't see any particular needs and wishes coming up here. We do recognize that there are needs and wishes in various communities, various parts of the world now with areas of conflict. I'm sure there's plenty of needs and wishes there that we can give to, but I don't hear any particular voices coming out that need to be addressed here today.
The silence of love, but still, we wish for the love of our beautiful souls, and we all wish we give from our soul to all the areas in conflict, disaster.
We have a wish from Claudia in the chat here,
Oh,
who says, "My wish is to stop the corruptions and the abuse to the children's." Our wish is our command, and
we are present, my dear. We are present.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my dear Claudia. So the wishes is always from all of us. As an individual, as a collective, there is peace and love, abundance, beauty and totality, my dear one. As this has to be, it is like that, you know, and it is happening, and we have this ability to understand, to elevate. So thank you. If there is, well, we know we are sharing love and good wishes, good talking, good acting. Yes. So thank you for being here always. So we can go to the, if there is no any, well, I will not say it again, but then practice love, and we can go to the night, my dearie. Here, we are here to serve, not to be served, my dear beautiful souls. Universal souls, always. The Universal Council. This is Shwetambar. You see Hindi language. And the videos we skip today will be in the next One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace. And thank you. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Suswagatam into the beauty and totality of beautiful energy of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute organization. Jump in, leap in, join, hug, whatever you can. Practice love with Keshe Foundation. So thank you. Thank you again. Salam, namaste, salute, my dear beautiful.
Okay, thank you, Shweta. And thank you to all the members of the Universal Council who put together today's presentation for us. And thank you for everybody for attending today's 304th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice here on Tuesday, December 12th, 2023. I think that's it for that workshop. Our next public teaching workshop will be the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group. And that starts on Wednesday, December 13th, starting at 7 a.m. Central European Time. And that's open to whether you're a newcomer to the plasma technology or an old timer with it, then all are equally accepted. And we take on any topic under pretty much under in the universe and try to convert it to our plasma teaching. And that's part of the practical end of the Keshe plasma teaching is intended in that Keshe Plasma Reactor group. So folks are invited for that. And I think that's it for now, other than the Knowledge Seekers Workshop will be coming up Thursday at 9 a.m. so far as we know. And we look forward to that special presentation of the meeting the soul of the lover. All right, thanks everyone for being here, and we'll now move into
for being here. And how about some love dance?
Our ending love dance, yes, and music, the Flight Enhancement Spaceship music version to end our show. Again, thanks everyone. Oh, also thanks to
thank you
to Mark and Elias, who are co-hosts today, and also our background image from Jedi Simon. Thank you much for that as well. Okay, bye everyone.